нужен. Чё тут я?
Someone drank rum. Someone drank. This man is in his 50s. Peter Carey was...
Чё? Суть картинки происшествия, используя детективные выводы. Числите виновника. Нихуя себе. Ёбаный в рот, блядь. Устроить за сегодня, посмотреть любопытно.
Someone was here yesterday. They attempted to force the door to gain entry. Old Nav. These boots don't match the footprints.
Не, эти ботинки оставил себе. Ага. Ну вот, свежо, помнишь? Я сейчас...
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
Ебаный в рот. Ну чё?
Is this your husband's tobacco pouch?
I'm not sure. It might be, but he hadn't smoked in a very long time.
Your husband's private papers. Do you know where they are?
There was a small tin box, barely larger than a book. He kept his papers there. It should be somewhere in his cabin.
Thank you, madam.
Well, Mr. Holmes, what do you think?
I think that we are lucky.
And why is that?
Because of last night's attempted break-in.
Oh, you've lost me.
It is very probable that whoever came here hoped to find the door open. They tried to force it with a knife blade, but they failed. What will they do? Why, return tonight, when they will be better prepared.
Aha! So what do you propose?
We shall remain on the outside, near the window, where we stand the best chance of catching sight of our visitor. Well, gentlemen, ready your pistols. We have a long night ahead of us. Dundee. Hammerfest. It's a whaling map.
We need to find a good place for an ambush. Perhaps behind Carey's cabin, near the window.
Mr. Holmes?
Who could do such a thing? My poor husband.
This window is locked from the inside. I do not see any attempt at a break-in. This looks like the perfect hiding place.
Did you hear that? There's someone there. I'm gonna collar him.
I'll be right behind you.
Police! Hold it right there. All right, my fine fellow. Who are you and what are you doing here?
You're detectives, I suppose. You imagine that I'm connected with the death of Captain Carey. I assure you I'm innocent.
Innocent? Then what are you doing in his cabin?
Shall I tell you? You came to retrieve what you had lost after killing Peter Carey, but we were here waiting for you.
What is your name?
John Hopley Nelligan, but I didn't...
Do you deny that you came here yesterday?
No, but yes, it's just that I couldn't...
I'm tired of this. Off we go to the yard. Tomorrow, I'll see that you're put in front of the judge.
What? But you can't! I'm not... It's a terrible mistake!
Enough! You can explain all of that to the judge. You're coming with me to the yard.
But...
In light of recent events, it seems evident that your coming here was unnecessary. All the same, I'm very grateful to you, Mr. Holmes.
You are welcome, Inspector, but please don't be too hard on our young fellow. I would like to question him tomorrow morning.
Чё за игра, что ли, вылетела? Ну ёпть. Да. Не очень хорошая. Однако...
All right,
Вот, мы все видели, знаем. Надо пропустить.
Good morning, Mr. Holmes. Can I help you?
Good morning, Constable. I would like to speak to the fellow who was arrested at Woodman's Lee last night.
Ah, the young man. He's waiting in the interrogation room. You can go straight through. His belongings are held in the evidence room.
Thank you.
Фейк.
Does this notebook belong to you?
Yes. But where did you find it? I did not know... I thought I'd lost it at the hotel.
What do these abbreviations mean?
Oh, no. I beg you, I can't. If I told you, it would only make things worse.
But I will find out eventually, Mr. Nelligan. The sea knife was found near Carey's body. Tell me, Mr. Nelligan, did Mr. Carey try to defend himself or to attack you with it?
I don't know. I didn't kill anyone.
Понятно.
Well, I will see you soon, young man.
What am I doing here? I've done nothing wrong.
Можно богатый семью, то потом на зрение отца. Если не даст волос, нужен то заводить чистой рыбы, несмотря на таким тягом времени, выглядит слабо.
What am I doing here? I've done nothing wrong.
Locked.
Locked.
Mr. Holmes? At your service, Mr. Holmes.
Как все дома расхаживают хоть. Вот его шмотки. Нет. Нахер я спустился в мок?
Locked.
Ой, ёпти, извиняюсь. Вот они.
These are the suspect's belongings. And partner, 1883. To my friend, from R. Dawson. Dawson. I've seen this name before. Perhaps my archive holds the answer. A handkerchief with the initials J.H.N. A pocket. It was used to force the door of Peter Carey's cabin. The notebook that we found on Peter Carey's cabin floor. These abbreviations mean something, but what?
Что ты говорил про архив? Нет. Прошу, коробка. Нет. Нет. Что взял ручную книжку? Угу. Так, а если мы... Ладно. Приехали. Так, где там его архив-то, херов? Так. Химия. Найти силу. Ёпть.
That is not the one I need.
О. Силы фондозные. Потеря по кредитному портфелю готовится к ликвидации. Второй банк стал катастрофой для многих корнуольских семей.
Here it is. Now I begin to understand that young man's story, but I am still unclear as to what connects him with the murder. It is time to ask him. My archive. I can always consult with it if needed.
Я пойму. Еще минут 15.
Who could do such a thing? My poor husband.
This place, an object was taken. Dundee. Hammerfest. The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the...
Сразу не ехал на выйти стоит. Блин, все равно штука. Я сюда вернулся-то.
I have heard the story of Dawson and Nelligan, the West Country bankers.
Yes, Joshua Nelligan was my father.
I am aware that it had a bad ending. When the bank failed, it ruined half the families of Cornwall, whereupon Joshua Nelligan disappeared.
My father was under extraordinary pressure. Dawson had retired. I was only 10 years of age at the time, but it was still old enough to feel the shame that befell our family. My father was convinced that he could pay off all his debts if the creditors gave him time. He set sail for Hammerfest in Norway in his small yacht, just a few days before an arrest warrant was issued. He left my mother a list of the securities he was taking. No word was ever heard from him again. We believe that his vessel went down, taking with it everyone and everything on board.
Thank you for the story, Mr. Nelligan. At last, we are making some progress. The police seized this valuable ring from you. Whose is it?
I didn't steal it from anyone. It has always belonged to me.
The ring's date of engraving is many years ago. So, Mr. Nelligan, who is the true owner of the ring?
The ring is mine.
No, Mr. Nelligan. I believe that the ring had belonged to your father.
Oh, but how do you know?
The jacket you are wearing is made of an expensive fabric that only a man of exceptional wealth could afford. You do not seem to me to be a rich man, Mr. Nelligan. Furthermore, the garment is ill-fitting. It is quite clear that it belonged to someone else, most probably your father. With your father gone and taking with him the family's wealth, as a little boy you had to find yourself a manual job, and it was most probably cleaning fish. You cut your hands often while working. I can tell from the scars.
I'm speechless, Mr. Holmes. It all happened exactly as you say.
Interesting. Joshua Nelligan and Peter Carey were both at sea in Norway. There is definitely some connection between Peter Carey and Joshua Nelligan's disappearance.
Проверить сюда можно. Ладно, на этом мы закончим. Сегодня уже час доходит. Всем спасибо, кто смотрел. Всем до завтра.